Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. I hope you guys are having a great day. We have a very important video on Palantir Technologies, especially after a major media outlook, the Wall Street Journal, comes out with this article saying that Palantir's momentum is hurt by slowing growth in governmental deals. You would expect bearish trading to occur, possibly a negative correlation, but the opposite happened. You have Palantir that absolutely pops today, reassuming that $17 level of support and even hitting an intraday high of $18.35. We're going to be talking about what this is pinpointing to as a key catalyst for Palantir's future success in 2024. If you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, thank you so much for supporting a smaller content creator. Hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, PLTR, like I said, reassumes the $17 level of support. What we're seeing in the general stock market are hitting these record highs as the S&P and these tech stocks are continuing to rise on a daily basis. Now, PLTR closing at about 5% on the actual increase in valuation today. Right now sits at a market cap of about 38 billion. See this gap that is established right here. And we saw a little bit of that intraday high resistance being met at these mid 18s, at the 1820, this area. What we're seeing is an immense amount of options volatility coming in here. Look at the volume at the 18, at the 19, even the $20 strike price for call options. You have all over 20,000 and all these strike prices going from the increments from 18 all the way to 20. We have many investors that are taking a bullish bet on Palantir. And with this article that hits headlines about how the actual governmental deals is slowing Palantir's growth, everybody's looking at February 5th. That's going to be the next earnings. But talking about that, and with the slowing growth in governmental deals, why I think this backdrop adds pressure to Palantir, especially in the upcoming quarter earnings report, is because everybody is looking at the next catalyst for PLTR, and that is talking about its actual commercial market as a growth driver. And we see this with AIP. We see this with commercial revenue and commercial customer account that has grown year over year. And the interesting thing about this Wall Street Journal report is that Alex Karp has even came out and told the Wall Street Journal, Alex Karp is the CEO of PLTR, just so you know, if you're new to PLTR, many people already know that, but just covering the basis here, that he even came out and said that working with the US government is a cyclical and a difficult business that doesn't make revenue as predictable and or as steadily as commercial businesses. Logically, investors are looking for expansion at the disclosure of this February 5th date, which the next earnings will be reported. Now, talking about that with the 2024 guidance key, another piece of bullish, basically momentum that we see for PLTR is a Morgan Stanley analyst recently called for growth to accelerate in PLTR in 2024 from 19% from 16.5% in 2023. And this is coupled with this now mature governmental business making it difficult to meet these expectations, is why PLTR is diving into the commercial space. And what we're seeing right here is a large attraction, Yahoo Finance even reports this right here, of investors coming into PLTR, taking a bet onto AI. And looking at what analysts are really focusing the key variable on, and a catalyst that we've talked about before, but let's quickly recap it again, is the actual earnings per share and the revisions, the expectations that keep getting revised for PLTR. And talking about that, many analysts covering the stock are revising their earning estimates to take into account the latest business trends. And what we've seen with PLTR is this large dive into commercial business. And if we specifically look here on Seeking Alpha, earnings per share right now, 8 cents, that's predicted, 602 million in terms of revenue. One key catalyst that we keep pinpointing and we're seeing right here, and I think why investors are taking advantage of PLTR right now in these mid-teens price points, is because of the earnings per share revisions. We've seen 16 in the bullish direction in the last 90 days. We've seen none in the bearish direction. So the fact that you've had 16 bullish revisions, Wall Street continues to expect Palantir to hit a higher milestone, to set a higher bar. And this has happened in the previous previous few quarters for PLTR, especially with the rollout of the AIP boot camps, and they have continued to deliver. And with the AIP boot camps, allowing these potential private clients to test their actual data analytics softwares, the whole run-of-the-mill, everything they have to offer, for free. And they claim that you can get a 0 to a use case within 5 days. Now, on top of that, I think in just a few weeks here, could we possibly have these investors that are gearing up for the expectations that Palantir could be delivering positive earnings results? Even with that, I was actually surprised here to see the reversal that we saw after the Wall Street Journal did release this bearish article taking a large poke at Palantir. And in terms of what the investors are looking for is for another earnings to be smashed. If we look and we zoom back, remember what happened with the last earnings. We had Palantir going especially quickly here from 14s all the way to the 17s and quickly breaking the physical and the psychological level of resistance at the 20 and setting the 2023 year to date or 52-week high at 2185. Now, Palantir has been there in the past just a few months ago, back here in November. If PLTR gets a nice earnings report and continues to improve its guidance, and we're continuing to see a lot of momentum coming into the global markets in terms of the actual indexes, you see all up here about 0.3%, with Palantir specifically, could be testing this $20 level of resistance. And if we're seeing more bullish momentum that continues, then with the buying pressure, Palantir could push past those 20s again. It depends where it could stabilize, and a lot of things and basically volatility will be coming in the near future in either direction. Palantir could also miss it, of course. Things don't always just go up, they can come down. Not just being here a moon boy, hype boy, saying everything. Let's take a realistic approach. If Palantir were to come down, look at the 16s, because Palantir did a good job actually consolidating there and building support in the 16s because it hasn't had a lot of trading history in this price zone. And then of course, PLTR likes to consolidate between the 13s and the 16s. But right now in January, I think towards the end of January, we're going to continue to see this momentum as we see PLTR that is gearing up to report their earnings, and investors are going to be hoping that PLTR could have similar like trading patterns compared to the Q3 earnings report that was able to be smashed. Now, on top of that, PLTR, we talk about this all the time. This is like beating something with a dead bush. And that is, of course, the fourth quarter of GAAP profitability. The PLTR brings that fifth quarter of GAAP profitability that just furthers the reason that they should have the inclusion into the S&P 500. They meet the criteria. The question is, when will this happen? And this is going to be a large milestone and accomplishment for PLTR, especially for investors that could be waiting for PLTR to enter the S&P 500. And what we've seen is usually about a 5 to 7% increase in valuation. That's all I have for you guys. Take care. Of course, do your own research out there. I'll catch you guys later. Let me know, what do you guys think about all this news? What do you think is going to be happening in the next few weeks down in the comments? And what do you think is going to be happening with the earnings? Have a great day.